Morning, everybody. Welcome to LockPod, Season 7, Episode 13. We are Belgium's top-rated podcast, and it may not even be the morning where you are. So good afternoon or good evening.
Look at you. It's like you're still talking to Democrats abroad. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What was that, the Truman Show?
Truman Show.
Yeah.
We don't even have a full
What's up,
compliment
Jill?
today.
Jill's stuck by not just one train, two trains.
Multiple trains. If you know the region,
Yeah.
you know that you can get stuck by trains.
I'm going to fix that when I get in the U.S. Senate.
Yeah,
It'll
just
be
be
freaking
like fund
railroad
the
companies'
bridges.
Worst fucking nightmare. I mean, honestly, I got broken in with trains, not giving two shits about the local community for my entire professional career. So when I become a U.S. Senator, how do you think I'm going to be on issues resolving?
Yeah.
Like when trains decide to block city blocks, and just park their train for 4 hours
Well,
with
you,
no
you
regard
know this.
whatsoever.
You know this because you worked on it for NERPC, which is the Northwest Indiana Regional Planning Commission, and you tried to get some help, and you said, you know what? It's a federal issue. We're preempted.
Yeah. We discovered that not only could Hammond police officers not write tickets, not only can, county government not do anything, state government can't do anything. The only body that could regulate trains' behavior is U.S. Congress. And they won't do it because they get too much money from the railroad companies. It's impossible. When you're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in campaign donations, are you the one that's going to be like, hey, I'm going to cut off the flow of those donations and screw you over?
To let the little town or city
screw Hammond.
have
right?
their... Yeah, I mean,
this money's too important,
It's all preempted. And I mean, that's the interesting thing about that whole puzzle is that you learned the hard way that federal government's the only body that can help trains. And by the way, while you were going through it as mayor, there was like kind of somebody did a research memo. I don't know if it was Marissa or somebody, and Tom Novak, and they looked and like literally you could find articles from 100 years ago where the mayor of Hammond was like, these trains,
they suck.
Yeah.
They suck.
So like 100
And it's pronounced where we live. I know there's people from all over the country listening to this show. Where we live, it's pronounced because we're literally the southern tip of Lake Michigan. So all the highways go through our areas. All the rail lines go through our areas. So does, so does broadband and stuff like that.
Yeah,
also.
I mean, if you think of Chicago as a major rail hub, where do you think the lines come in from?
They go right through
the areas right around Chicago. So
that's not even fair. Right through Hammond.
Yeah,
like
because
literally we're the first city.
Begins the bottleneck towards Chicago right by us.
So we have a toll road going through our city. We have a major interstate going through our city.
That combines two interstates, 80 and 94.
We have multiple rail lines going through our city because it comes from the north, like Wisconsin area, and then it comes down south through Illinois, right around Chicago, and then it goes right through Hammond as it's heading to the East Coast
East
or
Coast,
to Michigan.
south.
It's that's why we're so busy. And Hammond's always going to be in the middle of everything.
It's a great transportation hub, really.
But the trains, they'll come, and they don't want to do this in Chicago, so they'll come and they'll park in my city, and they'll just sit still.
They'll wait until they need to go to Chicago.
And then you're on the other side of the train line having a heart attack, and the fire engine that should be at your house in 1 or 2 minutes has to take 8 minutes because they have to go all the way around and take a highway to your house instead. And people die, and
kids are late for school.
Kids are late
people
for
are
school.
late for work.
Kids will crawl through stop trains to get to
people are late
school.
for podcasts.
It's unbelievable. Like trains don't give a shit about the local community. That's what I've been taught in 19 years. A freight line, when they look at the city of Hammond, they're like, screw Hammond residents. I don't give a shit about them. And this is their attitude. So when you elect me as your next U.S. Senator, you're electing a guy that absolutely despises what freight lines do to the local communities, to the U.S. Senate. And Todd Young could be the one that helps us with this type of stuff, but he doesn't give a shit either.
Well, it's like not a peep, right?
No. He gets too much money. Why would he rock the boat, man? He's excelled at fundraising in Washington, D.C. He's like one of the most prolific fundraisers in the United States Senate. Why would Todd Young rock the boat? Everything's great for him right now. Just shut up and let me continue to reap in the millions of dollars in campaign donations.
Status quo is good for him.
Jill, you gave us an opening topic.
We just talked about trains for 5 minutes. You look out of breath.
I just lost all of my train support because you're late for the pod.
Who's in favor of trains?
Not
Exactly.
many. Not many. But yeah, so 2 trains. I got one yesterday.
I got 3.
Three trains today. That's maximum
Hat
trains.
trick.
Hat trick.
Congrats.
That is unusual.
Thank you, Biden. These fucking trains.
You know
it's his fault
when
somehow.
Trump was president, those trains were flying right through.
Yeah,
Hammond.
man.
They never stopped. Ever since Biden took over,
Oh,
everything's
man.
falling apart.
Well, welcome.
Were they stopped, Jill, or was it just slow?
2 of the 3 were stopped.
Just stop.
Did you go around or did you wait it out?
So the double track up by me was one of them was stopped. So I cut across to EC to use their overpass bridge.
Uh-huh.
So did that, got to the set of tracks by the Sportsplex. That was stopped. So
Get
then I
outta
doubled
here.
back
Oh my God.
west.
You did like twice the mileage.
You did
to
some
get here.
serious
Yeah.
region.
You're devoted to Lockpod. We appreciate that.
I mean,
You know how to get around trains.
And
Just
by the
takes
way,
20 minutes.
we were short a topic to start the show with,
Yep.
and we rolled
Jill
right
provided it.
you're welcome.
Train talk. Thank you, Jill.
Those shades look cool too.
I know.
I would go to the Lindsay
Don't
camp,
do
but
it.
you don't like it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Guess what? Hey, my signs are
Yes,
almost
because-
gone.
So we talked about your signs last time. For those that listened to episode 12, you knew that Tom put like Hunter, or actually Jenna Bunner helped, and some other volunteers helped put
Jenna Bunner
like
did all
single,
of them.
Oh, did single-handedly
There was, like,
got
200
150
signs.
signs, yeah, in your yard.
It was more like 200, I think.
All right, 200,
Yeah.
What was
It was
the-
like, no, it was 150.
149.
Yeah. But yeah, she put them all together, put them in our front yard, and then like a whole wave of people took half of them like within the first day. And then the ones that were left were the ones way up by my house, and I could tell people were
Move them
nervous.
down. Move them down.
But I could tell people were nervous
Yeah.
about like walking all the way up in my yard to get a sign. And I'm like, hey, we're going to have a bunch of damn signs in our yard unless we do something. So Tommy and I got outside and we put them all along the street.
Nice.
And another wave of
People
people
rolled
went
by and
through.
got them.
And now I have literally less than 10.
All right, so what's the word? If you need a sign at Tom's house, get it quick.
I gotta
Well,
swing
if-
by there.
Jesus, you couldn't have brought any for us?
Well, no,
I
I'll
gotta
put more
drive
out
to your
there.
house?
Kevin, give me another 100.
We'll get another 100 out there.
Let's go. We'll just keep it going. You know, because people from even other cities are coming
Oh,
by.
I know several people that said I rode by Tom's house. I got some signs, brought them out to Dyer.
Let's do it.
Brought them out to Maryville.
My neighbors in Knickerbocker are so nice. I drove around the Parkway. I was like tearing up a little bit. How many people took them and put
Yeah.
them in the Parkway? It's so cool.
That's
it's like
awesome.
my neighbors like
I think
me.
I think you've got the Knickerbocker Parkway vote.
I'll be honest with you. There's a couple neighbors that have never supported me as mayor. Got my Senate sign in their yard.
Nice.
Really nice. I was like, I got a little like, I get home last night at like, I don't know what time, 9:30 late. Oh yeah, and then come pulling into my neighborhood and I saw all my signs out and I was like,
cool.
wow, that's super cool. Yeah.
Well, go get a sign.
You want to hear something funny?
Sure.
I have so basically,
Always ready for funny.
yeah, I'm really smart financially. I'd like to consider myself. I watch the stock market every day. I run a
Yes, you
small
do.
business. I'm the business person in the small business. I'm the one that takes care of the finances. I'm a smart financial person.
Okay.
I consider myself. Like I think I could teach like personal finance and
Sure.
I'd be really good. Okay. Except for I wouldn't make any money, which would ruin my personal finances. Funny enough. So I'm not going to go there. Right?
Irony.
It is an irony.
very
I'm really good at it,
ironic.
but if I do this, I'll be broke. And then I'll lose my job because they're like, you're broke. You can't teach personal finance, right? It's a weird irony.
God
very-
bless the Indiana teachers.
Yes.
So anyway,
They don't get paid enough.
I've labeled this one the Hoosier Women Forward Dilemma. Okay, because I love Hoosier Women Forward. It's a great organization. It's about women, obviously promoting women, encouraging women to run for office, introducing women to elected officials. And in fact, this year, Hammond's lucky enough to have one of our employees chosen. Kim Roberts is chosen as one of the panelists in class 5. Thank you. In class 5. So Kim, we're super happy for Kim, and I know she's really excited about being in the program.
And you've been very active about getting Hammond people into the program. I think that's something that I was impressed that you've encouraged people in the past. And
Yeah, we
I
have two-
even
this is
saw
our
you
second
yesterday,
graduate.
and you said to somebody else yesterday, like, you should apply.
Yeah.
So I know you're very active in trying to make sure Hammond has a person in the class.
This is our second. So 40% of the classes we've had a member in.
Heather Gray is
Heather
a
Gray was the
alumna.
first one, and by the way, Heather Gray graduates and then gets a great job offer and leaves me.
Well, you know,
It's
all about moving up.
You brought that on yourself then.
it's all about moving up.
Well, if Kim ends up leaving employment and going somewhere else, then I'm going to stop
That's
recommending
it.
women for this program. Okay, so anyway,
You've empowered too many women.
So I get asked. So Crystal Melton, I've known Crystal since she was a little girl. She was real good friends with my sister Nicole when we were growing up. They went to school together at Gavitt. So Crystal Melton and I have known each other since way back.
Sure.
Crystal Melton, Senator Melton's wife. Okay, and she's on the fundraising committee. I don't know if she's the chair, but she's pushing tickets for the Hoosier Women Forward event in Indianapolis, right? And Crystal calls me up and says, "Hey, Mayor, I was wondering if you'd be interested in supporting, Hoosier Women Forward at our annual event." And I'm like, "Well, how much are the sponsorships?" She's like, "Well, the top one's $10,000." I'm like, "Ugh."
10,000.
That's a little
You
risk
said
for my
that
blood.
out loud?
How does that-
No, I didn't
how
say
does-
that out loud. That was inside.
I'm a money
How
guy.
does
That's not
that?
gonna.
I was gonna say, how does that like roll into like I'm good at finance? You're like, no.
Okay,
All
so I
right,
backed off.
Good. That's
Good
a
at
smart
finances.
financial decision.
The fiscal conservative
Very
in me
good.
comes out,
Very
right?
good. Yeah, you're not going to go for the top.
No,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then she's like, well, what about 2,500 or 5,000 level? And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking in my head, my brain's working. I'm like, I got 2 members that have been members of Hoosier Women Forward, 2 of my employees, and both of them are excellent employees. I have a promotional account at the city. You know, I could use my promotional account, and I'll just go ahead and sponsor a table in honor of what they've done for women in Indiana. And as far as Hammond employees, they're recognizing 2 of our great employees.
Yeah, I mean, you've gotten an employee as part of the class this year.
Right. So I'm like, okay, Crystal. And plus, Crystal Mountain, I've known her since she was in high school. I know her husband. I'm like, yeah. I'm
It's
going
a
to
great organization.
in my brain, I'm like, okay, I'll use my promotional account and I'll go ahead and commit to a $5,000 table.
Sure.
Okay.
Very nice of you.
And she's like, thank you, Mayor. And I'm like, hey, big pimping, right? I'm like, hey, there I am. I'm like, no problem, Crystal. I'll go ahead and I'll do this. It's going to be great for you. And then everything's great, right? Until I get to the event.
So like kind of a city-sponsored event. I think you had city people coming to
City
the...
could sponsor this because it's a women's organization encouraging women.
Nonprofit.
Not
right?
for, well.
Okay,
No.
we're gonna get into this.
Erase that.
This
Okay,
is where
sorry.
this is where
Playback.
things start to go awry for me. Okay, so
This is Tom's ongoing uncomfortable financial situations.
so I get
It's a new segment.
Yes.
it is
Tom's uncomfortable financial
This is
situation.
starting to remind me of the Freddie Fade story.
Yeah.
So
You
for
gave
those
him
of
2
the
checks.
no, right?
Yeah, right.
So for those of you that may not recall, Tom got a haircut at his favorite place, Freddie Fade, and it was a $35 cut.
He's a great guy too. He's
Absolutely.
a friend of mine.
$35 cut. He thinks, you know what? I'm gonna give Freddie a 50. Unfortunately, he had 2 50s stuck together, and he didn't realize it.
sticky
till
50s,
he,
like, stuck
till he
together.
walked out, and then he was like, "Well,
I gave a $65 tip on a $35
because you can't go
haircut.
back."
No,
we
I did
decided.
not. I decided
you did the right
We
thing.
all decided I did the right thing.
But you were still pissed. You're like, damn, 50.
Yeah.
I just lost $50.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
not
lost
that I don't
50
like
bucks,
Freddie, but
like that.
We haven't heard from Freddie since. He just.
Yeah,
Oh, I
he's
got a
like-
haircut.
He took
By the
off,
way,
man.
Freddie doesn't
he
listen
sent him
to
a
the pod-
picture with a 50.
He doesn't listen to the podcast, obviously, because I was in there sort of nervous and he didn't say anything about
and
it.
this time when you dropped no tip, you're like, yeah,
No.
I got you last time. Remember, Freddie?
Hey, yeah, I gave him $10 this time.
Yeah.
No, that's your tip. I paid for 2 haircuts last time I was there.
Hey, man, you owe me a haircut, I think.
Yeah, right. So anyway, I know I'm in trouble when I get a copy of the program and I look at the program book and I'm on a gold level sponsor
Okay.
and I'm in the wrong font. I'm in big font on the thing, right? And right next to Rachel Simon, who's the owner of a chain of malls, right?
Like the Simon Group.
Yeah, the Simon Group. And then Marianne Glick, who is very wealthy, great lady, big presence in Indianapolis. Leuna, Eli Lilly,
I have
Taft,
this. You want me to put
Duke
this up
Energy. Yeah,
Okay, let me throw this up here.
that's the book. And
All
I'm
right, here we
like,
go.
all these major corporations, these wealthy multimillionaires / billionaires, and me. Mayor Tom McDermott. And I'm like, oh, shit.
So this is when they send you like the draft of it. And then
Yeah.
right.
I'm like, wait a second. I'm on the wrong page
So
in
you-
the wrong font.
So
like,
you call Crystal, or what do you do? Call Crystal? Or
no, I'm like, okay, nervous, but I'm like, okay, thankfully.
AT&T.
Thankfully, AT&T.
AT&T, Mayor Tom McDermott.
Yeah. I'm on the wrong page, right? And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I use promotional money, right? And then I get calls from Hoosier Women Forward. They're like, hey, we appreciate you being a gold level sponsor, Mayor. I'm like, hey, no problem. I
Sure.
appreciate
I support
your
the organization.
You're
Sure.
an amazing
Ain't no thing,
organization.
man.
Ain't no thing. That's what I do,
Drop in a
right?
bucket.
And then they're like, we got bad news. I'm like, what's the bad news? And they're like, we can't accept city money for the gold level sponsorship because
funny.
we're a political organization.
Oh
and I'm
my!
like,
I
what?
didn't even know that.
I didn't either. I'm like, and then the more I thought about it, I'm like, damn, I guess they are a political organization. I never even thought of it
didn't-
like that.
I never did either.
Because I support women's causes in the region too, and they're not political organizations. In fact, they just had the influential
Yeah,
dinner last night.
you've done that.
Influential women. I've donated to them.
Attended the
repeatedly.
event, sure.
Attended, right? So
Bought a
like, I
table.
support women's causes, and this one locally is not a political organization. It's not for profit.
501c3, whatever it is. Yeah.
Well, apparently, Hoosier Women Forward is not. So I'm committed to $5,000.
The
And,
programs are printed.
The way I'm thinking in my brain, I'm going to pay for it. It's not going to work. They're like, hey, we'll just send a check back. I'm like, And I'm like, yeah, great.
Get the whiteout out.
I'm like, oh my God.
Sharpie that.
So I
Sharpie
got
my name. Sharpie, can you Sharpie all the programs, please?
So I'm like, you're still a gold level sponsor, right, Mayor? I'm like, of course I'm a gold level sponsor. Like, of course I am. I wouldn't back off gold level sponsorship.
I support your organization.
$5,000 is nothing to me. And
Go women.
Oh my goodness.
I'm a smart financial person.
Yeah. Do you know I could teach personal finance?
Yeah, and except for I would go broke. So anyway,
Case in point.
yeah.
So
yeah, I sponsored that table. $5,000.
Not
Wow.
with city money.
They said I helped pay for lunch, which was great. That was a
Yeah,
big
you
lunch,
did.
600 people.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was it good
$5,000.
at least? Was the lunch good?
You could,
I lost my appetite after I realized what was going on. So
they could have done like
To
an
go
announcement
back.
from the stage when they like are announcing gold level sponsors.
that would be great. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor McDermott asked to be demoted from a gold level sponsor to a bronze level sponsor. Can you please update your programs accordingly? No, that wouldn't have worked,
And then it'd
right?
be like a very
They're
modest
like,
applause.
What?
Boo!
What's wrong with a bronze level sponsorship? Nothing.
Mayor
right?
McDermott doesn't support women.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it was Freddie Faye's redo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like times,
Yeah,
I mean,
50
it went
bucks.
from
This
50 bucks
So
to
50 to
5,000?
5,000, like going 100 times.
is right.
You're
But it
having
makes
a
a
rough
great
month.
segment.
I know.
is
Thankfully,
Fine.
Wait for
Financially.
what's the next one going to be?
I'm killing it in the stock market. I am killing it in the stock market
Thank
right
God.
now. Okay, that's making up for my miscues in public. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to Hoosier Women Ford in the class number 5, and all
I
the
love
gold level
Hoosier.
sponsors
By
like
the way.
AT&T, Eli Lilly, and Mayor Tom McDermott.
yeah, it's all right. You know. Yeah, Patrick's not going to college next year, so it's all right.
Pat,
though.
get that loan out.
At least I'm in there in the big font with AT&T.
Yeah,
and
you are.
Luna, right?
All right, let's do. We got a big show. We got all
We
kinds
got a
of things
very
to
big
talk
show
about.
today.
Mayor Tom's been on the road, of course, and there's all kinds of other exciting things to talk about, including even one of our favorite topics, Marjorie Taylor Greene. We'll talk about her. So let's do some ads, and we'll come right back.
You just glossed over the fact that someone wrote on a comment card that you're dreaming.
Oh,
We're going to
gonna
get into that. That's
oh,
the meat of the
God.
show.
What?
Yeah.
Kevin,
Nah,
Dreamy?
We're not
Yeah.
going to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, we are.
is it in Kevin's own writing?
Power in America.
Right.
The Lake County
Hey, Power in
Electricians
America's back?
I
Training
didn't think
Center
about that.
Power in
is
America's
se-
back.
yes. Well, they're the Lake. They sponsor the Lake County Electricians Training Center.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're seeking applications for the electrical apprenticeship program. If you're a person who enjoys working with your hands in a challenging and ever-changing environment, the electrical apprenticeship might be for you. The apprenticeship opportunity provides tuition-free education along with paid on-the-job training. Successful applicants will be looking to make a long-term commitment to their new careers as an electrician. To learn more about the apprenticeship program, please visit apply. That's apply697.com.
So
Power
you're
in America.
Pow.
You're saying if I like working with my hands
Mm-hmm.
in a
right
challenging
there.
and ever-changing environment, I
Yep.
might be a good electrician.
I think, well,
Yeah.
you could try it out.
Maybe there's more to it.
I'm
than
gonna think about
but
that
it's a
one.
Jump off.
I love.
It takes some training, though. You can't just walk in and be an
I
electrician.
see where you're going with this.
Successful applicants will be looking to make a long-term commitment to their new career too.
Mm-hmm.
No short-term BS like you normally do.
Well, once you
Yeah,
get
guys.
trained, you're a trained professional.
That's right.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on.
Misprint. Misprint specializes in I called Rick Baltonsberger after the last show.
After you criticize Misprint for just doing their job.
I didn't criticize them, for the record. I didn't give kudos for doing their job, but I didn't criticize.
It's like, aren't those signs great? Well, they just got paid for what they were doing.
I ordered 14 cheeseburgers from Burger King. I wouldn't give them a shout out, is what I said.
I think Rick.
Because
did a great
14
job.
cheeseburgers, we agree, is extra effort. You know, they're not happy when somebody orders 14 cheeseburgers.
Here we go again.
You're like taking a chance on somebody spitting on your burger for sure when you do that, right?
Here we go, Rick.
Especially if you do it through the drive-through.
Yeah, at night.
dick.
14 cheeseburgers, you know for a
Like
fact.
10
one
minutes
of them,
for closing.
One of those cheeseburgers is loaded.
For sure. For sure.
Misprint Printing. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience and technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing, sign solutions, and damn right, metal business cards. Rick Baltonsberger and his team have served the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana markets for over 30 years. They have 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and in Hammond.
Calumet Brewing. We welcome you to try Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer brewed for those who understand that it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Containing only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and 4.2% ABV, Michelob Ultra is a light lager brewed with the perfect balance of hops and wholesome grains, producing a light citrus aroma and a crisp, fall-like refreshing finish.
Fall-like.
You like that?
Added that in there.
I like that.
How many beers? How many Michelob Ultras did you need this morning while getting stopped by trains?
You know, I don't drink beer. It's just hard liquor in the morning.
Yeah, right. That's good.
That flask is empty.
Right, it definitely is.
Somebody gave me a flask, actually.
Oh.
Well, I love the Indy flask we have.
Oh, I have the Victory for Veteran. I got to bring that in here.
Yeah.
I got another flask.
That's a koozie, Kevin. That's not
No,
flask-
the flask is behind the koozie,
A flask is a good gift,
which is
except
next
for
to the bourbon or the scotch.
God, what's that? Crack that open.
a flask is a good gift.
Flask is a great
is.
gift.
Like I like to drink on the sly.
Well, in the fall, in the winter, you know, you got to have that in your pocket. As
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
like
You
if you
get
ever shove your
wasted.
coffee and everything.
Going to a football
yeah.
game.
Just quietly wasted. Nobody knows what's going on.
Football game will warm you up.
Yep.
Quietly Wasted. That might be the title.
That's the
that's
title.
nice.
Wasted.
Quietly
Are
wasted.
you gonna do the last
Nice.
commercial? Or are you
Jill
gonna sit
wasn't
here?
done.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, check out their social media for details on this great family of beers. Enjoy the ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
I want a shirt that says that. Enjoy the ultra lifestyle. Let's throw that out there.
I want a shirt that says quietly wasted.
quietly wasted on the
You'll be getting
the
enjoy
irony.
the,
That's
on the
that'd be a
front.
great shirt. Yeah.
Quietly wasted on the front, and then enjoy the ultra lifestyle on back. Right?
I love that. Like people are like, oh man, I wonder what the front of that shirt says.
Quietly
wasted.
Right?
Sitting in
On the sly. Totally low carbs too.
Yeah.
You can get wasted on low carbs.
quietly wasted.
Quietly
We
wasted.
have
All
so
right.
many great merch ideas. Maybe we'll get that going in like
Steve.
season 12.
I mean, Steve's on it, John. Don't
Yeah.
worry. Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and outside patio. Their brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, or corporate parties. They're conveniently located just off of the 8094 Kennedy South Avenue exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu. For more information, check out bywaybrewing.beer.
Tortillas nuevo. Oh, my bad.
whoa.
I thought the
Not
song
yet.
was starting.
Not yet.
Wrong commercial. All right.
.beer.
Let's do some stuff.
All right. What were you up to?
Well, one thing I thought it was a really good hit. It was a city hit. So it's not really Mayor Tom on the road. It's me doing my job. We have a thing every year where we have a couple hundred realtors
Yeah.
come to the city, and we give them an update on economic development projects and infrastructure projects, things going on, gives them an opportunity to hear from me. And
Usually
ask
Lost
questions.
Marsh. Show off Lost Marsh. They go
Yeah.
golfing afterwards.
We give them free golf.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's a
I didn't know
popular
that.
one. Yeah.
That's great.
I've only golfed with them once. I'm sort of gone away from golf.
Well, you got some other things on your agenda these days.
I know. I golfed less than 9 holes this year. I golfed like 7 holes. I didn't even give a full half a round.
That's an effort.
I was with Dave Uran. He talked me into it.
That was nice of you.
Dave Uran.
Seven holes.
He has special influence on me.
Dave's a good dude.
Mm-hmm. And he knows it. He's like, come on, just golf with me. I'm like, ugh.
He's a golfer.
He is a golfer.
All right. So anyway, the realtors are at your.
Dave's
at
like,
Lost
thanks for
Marsh.
talking about my golf habit.
He likes to golf.
He's great at it.
I mean, it's better than being an addict of something else.
Quietly
I mean,
wasted?
Yeah,
It's better
quietly,
being
quietly wasted every
right?
day. Yeah.
Right.
I'll take
So
golf.
anyway, when we get done with the realtors breakfast, we want to make sure that we did a good job, right? And we wanted to make sure that, we could do better next year, what was effective, what wasn't effective. So we'd give out comments. Please make comments. Tell us how to do it better.
Right? It's always nice
and
to know
you were a
how to do
speaker.
better.
Kevin was a speaker. There were a few other great speakers.
Yeah, actually, Mayor's always a speaker, and I'm telling you, number one, he gets the crowd riled, really pumped up. Doesn't use a microphone generally, and yesterday's no exception. And I think he also is like, hey, listen, I've told you a bunch of stuff here, but I want to take questions. You know how usually in some crowds, someone's maybe a little shy to ask a question. John, right? You were there.
Oh,
the
yeah.
hands were up.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't wait to ask Mayor Tom.
I actually had a person that I knew would ask a question, and I said, do me a favor, ask the first question, because
that got
you'll
things
break
rolling.
the ice.
Oh, I didn't know you did that.
He was trying to ask the first question, but there were so many other questions I didn't even get to him.
That's awesome.
He ended up asking a question, but it was like the 6th question.
That's great.
He
Yeah,
didn't
it
even
was-
have to break the ice.
It was like question filled
So
and
oh,
good
sorry.
questions.
I was going to say, on a more like touching note, the last question Tom took was
Oh,
more
this
of a
is great.
statement from a woman. She raised her hand. She said, Tom, I just want to thank you for everything you've done for the city that kind of helped make realtors' jobs easier, all the programs you offer, so on and so forth. And it was almost like, this is how I took it from the outside looking in, like there were a couple hundred people in that room almost saying goodbye to Tom in his capacity, because they were like, he's going to win Senate.
Well, and she finished her comment by saying, we can't wait to to see what
Yeah.
great things you're going to do for all of us in the U.S. Senate.
That's nice.
That's
And
really
I'm
nice.
like, I was thinking, like, yeah, this could be the last time we see.
I do
Tom's been
really
there
enjoy
every
those
year.
things.
At that
And-
real
Your
estate.
farewell
Tom said,
tour?
It was like a farewell tour.
I'm not doing a farewell tour until I freaking win, guys. Unless you're trying to get rid of me. I mean,
So Tom said to her, you know
Goodbye,
what?
Tom.
I'm really glad I took that last question because
Yeah,
remember you would cut it
yeah,
off.
that's right.
You would cut it off, and then
Yeah, I
you're
took
like,
one more,
all right, one
which
more,
was nice,
and
right.
that was the final. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
good.
that was nice.
I think
Yeah.
you guys are trying to get rid of me.
No,
I get that feeling.
No.
When I see my employees busting their ass for me, I'm like, deep down inside, I'm like, my employees hate me.
Yeah,
They want to get rid of me so bad. They're working their ass off to get rid of me.
I don't think so. I think they're comfortable.
But let's talk about the bigger thing that happened at this event.
So we do the question and answer.
Exactly.
And like we were getting some funny
Comments.
Because I introduced Kevin as my work husband there to big laughs.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Kevin is my work husband, sort of.
You also said you were going to replace him as like you were going to get another attorney. Remember that? That was hilarious.
Did I? I don't remember.
No. Somebody said like, he's
The Griffith
Yeah, someone
thing
said the
or
Griffith
something.
thing. The mayor said like, oh, give me the name of
wish
that
we had
attorney.
that
So I'll
attorney.
do that. I wish we had that attorney or something like that.
I didn't mean to make that a slam. I guess I
Oh,
did
it's
turn out.
hilarious.
People interpreted
dude.
it as
Oh,
a slam
it
for
was
sure.
hilarious.
Oh my God!
Oh,
I
God,
didn't
it was
even
so
think
funny.
about that.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
wondering why everybody laughed.
That's why they were all
I
looking at
wasn't
me.
even trying to be funny. I was being funny.
Outside of your speech at Lindsay's wedding, that was the funniest thing you've said.
My speech at Lindsay's wedding, I should have definitely had a BAC meter on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
They went too long. Like the speeches took like way too long. I was already like too many beverages into. Like I don't give speeches while I'm drinking.
No, it's smart. It's
Well, I
smart.
did the other
Given-
day.
I know. I was saying, yeah.
That's why I don't drink that much.
That's smart.
I don't
Yeah.
like drinking. It's bad for you.
Okay.
Right. Anyway.
Yes.
So anyway, like Kevin was getting a lot of like Kevin Smith is so dreamy was one of the comments that came
Well,
back.
We obtained the original. I'm going to put this up on the screen
Yeah,
here.
let's analyze this handwriting.
I've spent some time with this trying to figure out who this is. Okay, here is the survey.
Which source of information did you find most helpful?
Okay.
Mayor.
Hold on.
We're not worried about
I
that
know
part,
that.
Kevin.
I know that writing. I know that writing. It's a woman's writing.
It has to be because of the smiley face. That's
It
what
is
I
a
thought.
woman's writing.
I don't
So
think
we
so.
established
That
that a
is-
female
That is not Kevin's writing.
said Kevin is dreaming.
I think
Female,
it's a guy.
Kevin Smith. No,
I don't think that's a girl's handwriting.
I think it is.
I think
I think
is
it's
too.
someone just messing with me.
But
Nope.
can I also
like John
note?
Vesmar.
I think
Do
I know
you
who
not
it
think
is.
you're
Like
dreaming?
Vesmar
though,
put it
Kevin?
in. I don't consider myself dreamy.
Hold it. Is there two different handwriting there? Kevin Smith.
Like
and
someone
then
put,
he is so dreamy.
dreamy.
It looks like my.
I wouldn't be
Your,
surprised.
it looks like your handwriting.
Because I print. It does look like it. It's not though. Because Kevin Smith looks like my handwriting, but he
Yeah.
is so dreamy. Looks like a woman's writing.
Okay, I also want to note the next question.
Uh-huh.
They put that they were extremely satisfied. So I don't.
Okay.
Kevin's dreamy. They're
I know
extremely
who this is.
satisfied.
Okay.
What were they doing at that?
It's a long
table?
morning.
So everybody come up with your suspect. Who would put Kevin's dreamy?
I've already got it. I already know. who it
I
was.
need
got
a list
mine.
of people that were there.
I know who is there. I know who this is, by the way. I know it for
I
a
wonder
fact.
if we're thinking the same
I know who
person.
it is. I know
Okay,
who-
let's go. Keep doing this. You're doing a great job. Great event. Include the one of them was this program needs to last additional minutes. I think that was
more
sarcasm.
Kevin Smith.
More sarcasm. This is all sarcasm.
I
Kevin
think
is
that
not
was sarcasm.
dreamy. That's why they put it
Program needs to last additional minutes. That to me is sarcasm. It's up there with Kevin Smith is so dreamy.
Yes, I agree.
Please give us more speeches from politicians. You know.
in. Yeah.
All right. So who's the culprit? I got my. You want me to come out first, or
I'll tell you. who
Yes.
I think it
John?
is.
Who's yours?
I'm going with Ann Anderson.
My God, that's exactly who
No!
I was going with.
Are
Yep.
you serious?
That's exactly who I was going with. Ann Anderson.
Ann could say something like that as a kind of a joke. Sure.
Uh-huh.
It's not
Yeah,
just being
she's a
nice.
fun-loving
she's
person.
fun.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
going,
so funny. You came. That was my guess.
Jill.
I don't know who was there.
Just pile on Ann.
Yeah, just
Oh, sure, Ann. Okay.
Ann Anderson.
Absolutely,
We
Ann.
have three.
I'm going with Chris Jones.
Okay.
no,
All right.
no.
Chris
And
Jones was there.
You know how I know it wasn't Chris Jones? See, I've studied this and I considered that. I got a table plat of everyone who was there. Here's why I know it wasn't
It's
Chris
like
Jones.
the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
Because the
investigation.
last question, there's nothing
Zaberter
written
film.
in. If this was Chris Jones, he would have filled all these lines, dude. He'd been like, it was great, but you know the eggs, they were in a pepper, and then you should have like the shade should have been down a little bit more.
This is why I think it was Ann, John. Okay, Ann has a vested interest in making sure the realtor's breakfast turns out well, so she checked extremely satisfied. Okay, and I see Ann's writing a lot because Ann submits reports to me, and he is so dreamy. There's something about that that reminds me of Ann's writing.
Maybe a smiley face.
And the smiley face definitely reminds me of Ann.
No.
I'm on the Ann train, and I think that we're right, guys.
Jones is trying to keep us off his trail.
Somebody's going to have to fess up here because this is a mystery that's not going to be solved on today's episode, but it will be solved in the future.
Thank you, whoever wrote it.
He is
It's
dreamy.
the best compliment
That's why
I've
he's my
gotten
work
in
husband.
quite some time.
Chat is saying Kevin's wife, but she was not there.
No,
No.
Jana was
and
not
thank
there.
God
She would
she
not-
doesn't listen to this
She
show.
would not consider. I don't think she considers me dreamy. So.
Right? She did consider him dreamy. And
Yeah.
At one
did.
that
point.
shit
One
faded
time.
a long time ago.
a long time ago.
All right. John?
We'll find out.
John? Strike up the banjos.
I am ready.
I love this banjo. Oh. It's a good one, John. I love the visual by Tom. He loves this.
This is good banjo.
It's like you're on the. Remember, don't forget to drive. You're supposed to do the wheel.
All right. Mayor Tom on the road. I'm not doing the wheel.
He doesn't drive himself.
Oh, good point.
Just- yeah.
All right, so just like
last night.
have him sit back
Just
with the
pass
iPad
out.
in his lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that again with how it really is with Tom on the road. Here we go.
Last night.
So Tom's pretending to
Mayor
sleep.
Tom on the road, sleeping. I did drive myself on this one.
Yes.
A lot of it. But Smitty drove me last night. I fell asleep.
Thank goodness.
For like 10 minutes.
That was a long trip.
And then, dude, he went for the pass on a small road, and I woke up.
Oh, no.
I woke up,
That's
and there was a
never
car
fun.
coming
Never
right at
fun.
us. I'm like, okay.
Boom.
And he goes, and the good thing is I was really tired before he did that, and I got a jolt of adrenaline that kept me awake the rest of the night.
That'll do it.
Thank you, Smitty.
Cheating
You
death
allowed
scared
you
the
allowed us to
crap out of me.
pre-show.
Cheating death will do that.
Yeah, it was because
that's
he like it was one of those where it was a 2-car pass. And
Oh.
it was a small little country
Double
road.
pass on a
so
single
and we
lane
had
road.
we had a double line. Okay, so Smitty goes, and then as soon as we commit,
You mean you had a dash line?
we had a dash line. As soon as we committed, a car came.
See
Yeah.
what you did,
And
Kevin.
I saw Smitty's brain working. He's like, "Oh shit! Do I go for the double pass? Do I go for the single pass, or do we retreat?"
No,
He went
Smitty's
for the-
going for the double.
He went for the double pass, and I'm just like, I just woke up. I'm like, okay, there's a
This is
car
how I
coming
wake
right
up.
at us. We're like barreling at them at 80 miles an hour. They're barreling at us, and
Sounds great.
we made it.
Yeah. Well,
We're
you're
still here. And by the way, jolt of electricity in my body. I'm wide awake
Up
after
for the
that.
night.
Yeah,
Let's
it
go
was-
pre-show.
I didn't sleep until like midnight last night. Thanks, Smitty.
Question. Will
Yeah.
you guys go for a pass even if you see a car like way down there? Like it's like an ant. I won't. I won't
I
do it. I
generally
gotta
will
see
not.
no car.
If I'm in my Mustang, yes.
I mean,
Because my Mustang will blast past. Your car blast
Yeah,
past
my
cars
car will
too,
be
Kevin.
fine, but
Kevin's
I-
car's fast.
I just don't. I generally am pretty careful on country roads. I always just get a little nervous.
I
on
mean,
them.
Representative Walorski was killed on.
Yeah, she was.
I actually drove right by where it happened
Yeah.
because we were at Napanee,
Napanee, yeah, we were
which is
down
the
that way.
first stop on Mayor Tom on the road.
Ooh, let's talk about it.
All right, so I drove from Hammond. This was on Tuesday, I believe. After working a full day, I needed to be in Napanee that night for candidates night, and I also needed to hit the road later on to get to Indianapolis when I pulled in at like 11 p.m. So
Napanee.
Napanee,
that
candidates
picture?
night.
Right?
Huh?
That's a pic. Yeah. Throw that up.
Yeah.
You got a bit of a Gavin Newsom vibe going on here.
Sure.
I don't
I
know
love-
if it's the hair or
You know what's crazy? I saw a picture of Gavin Newsom on the day he was sworn in as San Francisco mayor. We were like twins
Wow.
when it happened. And I've always loved Gavin Newsom. I still do. I'm a fan. If he ran for president, I would be a supporter.
Yeah, I would too. Actually, I saw somebody. I think it was like Jimmy Kimmel or somebody at late night show the other day did Gavin Newsom in the ageometer, and they're like, it looks just like Joe Biden. That's pretty funny.
Gavin
But
Newsom's
he's
he's
a
a
stud.
badass.
Yeah,
By the
I-
way,
I-
like he was always out in front, man. Like I remember when I was mayor and when he first became mayor of San Francisco, early started marrying same-sex couples in San Francisco, and I was like completely stunned. Like, wow,
Yeah,
like
he's
how
ahead of the curve.
He is the bravest politician I've ever seen.
Fought
he
back
did
a
it,
recall.
Fought
John
back a recall,
supported Caitlyn Jenner in that.
but got buried as lieutenant governor.
Yes.
He did. Like he
Yeah.
was lieutenant governor. Nobody ever thought he'd be governor, and then he became governor for Jerry Brown, who was a
We've done
legend.
some crazy things on this show, dude. I forgot
still
about
got
that
that
whole
hat?
Jenner.
I won
Newsom
$100
thing.
off of that bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Smart financial person.
But so Napanee was actually Napanee. Just going back to the Mayor Tom on the Road. A couple things here. Number one, Chad, chairman of Elkhart County,
Great guy.
Great guy. There's also what I love about hitting a lot of these county events is you see that the Democratic Party has really good state rep and state senate candidates out
Yeah.
there. I mean, if the place wasn't gerrymandered like it is, and I mean, not only are these guys going to do well this year, but it's like they would be great state reps, great state senators.
And then Paul For All is out there also.
Paul
He's
For
running.
All, second
I love
district.
Paul For All, Paul Story. He's running for I'm not going to say it's vacant congressional seat because it was filled after Jackie Walorski's death from a horrible, tragic auto accident. But Paul For All he's a great guy.
He was running against Jackie, and now he's running against
whoever
who
the
filled the
person is.
vacancy.
Right. So in
What
Napanee,
the hell is this picture?
that's a parking garage in Napanee for the carriages.
Think about it. So this is a parking stall for Amish carriages.
Yeah.
Filled
You'll see them all over.
Filled with horse shit.
It is filled with horse shit. There should be a law against
Literally.
So it's
Like-
unbelievable. Like you see the parking lot behind it. So if you want to park here, you just
By
pull
the way,
your carriage in.
there's an outdoor restaurant like half a block from there.
Look at this.
It's got
Yeah.
horse shit everywhere.
So they must have like part of the public works. Someone's got the job to pick that up. But I
Yeah.
mean, you know what? It got me
What job am I
thinking?
applying for? Horse shit.
Horse shit
hauler?
collector?
Yeah.
The thing that I was thinking about is this is just Napanee with 2 horse stalls. Could you imagine like New York City in like 1910?
Right.
Oh, good point.
Like
Yep.
what the?
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep.
It was interesting. But Napanee was a good stop.
By the way, it was cold that day when I was driving, and when I was leaving there, I saw a Amish buggy coming out of a house, and they had their whole family in there, and it was so freaking cold. I'm like, God,
Think about, and this is like September.
They're
Think about like
freezing.
February.
dude, I don't. It's like,
Yeah.
it's a.
What a culture.
It's quite a lifestyle.
It is
Yeah.
a total sacrifice, and it's dangerous as hell. By the way, driving on country roads like
I mean,
that
it
in an
happens
Amish
every
buggy,
year. There's a
in an Amish
crash.
buggy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Yeah.
taking your family's life in your hands every time you hit the road. I mean, you're going 12, 13 miles an hour, and the cars are going 60. And by the way, this is the same stretch of road where Jackie Walorski was killed in a tragic accident. It's like,
Yeah, I mean,
Very,
it's a
very
lifestyle.
sad.
They have a, it's
I wanna-
that's the religion.
I'd like to be there when an Amish person saw like TikTok for the first time or something.
I don't think they do.
No,
They
there's
need-
is it a year or something where they can go?
Oh,
off
you're
of-
right.
Oh,
I can't
that's
remember
right.
what
Forgot
that's
about
called.
that.
Right after they're 18.
Rum,
And some of them,
something on it.
some of them
You
come
saw the
back.
reality show.
Something like that.
Some of them come back, but a lot of them, some
Yeah.
of them hit the road too. And yeah.
Interesting.
So anyway, I left Napanee and went to Indianapolis, crashed, got in like stupid late. Then woke up the next day and spoke to Hoosier Women Forward Class 5
yes, you did.
as candidate for U.S. Senate, which was nice. And then, so I spoke to them for a half hour. Got asked tough questions, by the way.
Told them you were a gold sponsor.
No, I didn't. I didn't mention that. I was still hoping to recoup
Somehow
some
they-
money.
How was that lunch? You're welcome.
Yeah, right. Thanks for the lunch, Mayor. I'm like, what? Then I had left there, and so keep in mind, I come rolling into Indianapolis. I'm going to complain about Kevin. Okay, so I come rolling into Indianapolis, and we have to cut 3 videos for AARP. Okay,
American Association of Retired Persons.
right, and it's obviously vitally important. You know,
Absolutely.
we want to do well with with AARP and with retired
Older
people,
Hoosiers, yeah.
right? You know, and so I have questions about Social Security, about pharmaceutical medicine, prescription drug prices, and I have another video about end of life care, and you
And
know, and by the way,
caregivers and-
I have a personal story on that right now because not only my grandma when she passed, it was a major moment in my life, but my stepfather in California is in hospice as we speak, and he's been fighting for 13 years. He had cancer and emphysema, by the way, and the fact he's still alive is amazing. But so these are hugely personal issues to me, and we cut 3 videos like commercials, like a minute long.
Yeah,
each.
so they were, I think what AARP is doing is they accumulate all the candidates around the country and they post them for their members to see like who's running for Senate, who's running for Congress, and so it's a really cool studio. I mean, these are professional
total
cameramen, the whole thing. Jordan and Addison that were there, they put on they were very welcoming, and they read the question, and Tom has a 60-second answer.
So I get the scripts. Kevin was like, I sent them to you last night. And I was
did.
so salty with him. I'm like, I got in at 11 o'clock. I woke up this morning and had stuff as soon as I woke up. I'm sorry I didn't commit the goddamn answers to memory. Because, like, John, you guys know, Jill, when I walk into a studio shoot like this, it's like a commercial. You have to be perfect. And if you screw it up, you got to do take 2 or take 3, right?
It was early, too, by the way.
It was early in the morning. I literally just got the script as I'm walking into AARP because I
'cause
guess
you
I
didn't
could
look at it.
I could have stayed up at midnight and memorized the stuff. I acknowledge, right? Like Kevin Smith would have been up
would
till
have been
3
committed.
right? So I go in there and then I did the first answer. I did okay. The second answer I did okay, and the third one. We were talking because we have discussions, and I feel that, physician-assisted suicide and what they do in California, I think it's cutting-edge government. I think it should be a total option. In fact, I've already had one family member in California take advantage of that. And I unfortunately I may have another. I'm hoping he doesn't, but I may have another. So I believe in physician-assisted suicide. And the question was about end of life care, and how do we fix end of life care? Long-term care problems in America, and what do we do about family caregivers? And my answer touched on a little bit about physician-assisted suicide. And I'm in AARP, and I look at my staff, and I'm like, this answer sucks, dude. I hate this answer. And we're in front of the AARP. This is in front of people who've never met us before. Right, and I'm like, I hate this answer. And I'm like, I don't want to say, hey, you can also choose to kill yourself. It was so brutal. Okay, we all walked out and started yelling at each other. I said, let's just go in the hallway. I said, let's go in the hallway. Or so we go out in the hallway, and we all just start. Kevin took the camera off the tripod and smashed it. So there was no. I threw the paper up in the air. I was like, "That's it." We walked out there, and I was probably a little emotional. I'd been driving and working my ass off, and I get out there, and I'm like. I basically said nicely, I don't really like this answer, fellas. And I said nicely, I said, that's because the answer isn't really in the script. It's in brackets saying, do you want to discuss this, ? And this is all a very nice conversation we're having. It's very low and calm. Yeah, that's true. They can hear you inside. Dude, we were like, it was very emotional. I was super pissed. Kevin's like, screw you. I was like, Zach and Lindsay are like, holy crap. Like, Zach and Lindsay are sitting back. We all just like start yelling at each other. The AARP's in the room like, okay. And then Tom walks back in and he goes, all right, I'm ready. It was so funny. And he cut it. And I killed it. Yeah. But I didn't talk about physician-assisted suicide on the third one. Good. But I do believe in it. But I just didn't think it was appropriate in that question. And in Kevin's defense, he didn't think that should be a seminal part of the answer, right? Yeah, I was just like, do you want to go there kind of thing? And it just like, I was just trying to put bullet, because I don't, look, Tom doesn't want scripts, right? So we just put bullet ideas. And one of them was in brackets. The only thing on brackets on the whole page was like, hey, do you want to talk about this? It wasn't like talk about this. And I started talking about it in the answer, and I was just like, I hate this answer. It's like, oh boy. I was like, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I did a lot of Ron Burgundy's. That was a fun Tuesday morning. Go fuck yourself. And then we all went and had lunch on Tom. Then we all went and had lunch on me with 600 people. You know what the cool thing about the Hoosier Women Forward lunch was? I felt like for the first time as a statewide candidate in Indianapolis, I felt like a recognizable elected official. Okay? Like when I go to Indianapolis, a year ago, I could walk into a room like that and 85 to 90% of the people had no idea who I was, and I could walk around anonymously, quite frankly. And now when I walk into that room, it's like selfies, go to this table, talk to this person. I was working the room, and I don't do that in Indianapolis. Like I do that in the region, obviously. I've been an elected official here for 2 decades. In Indianapolis, it's like that now, which I think is a very good sign. That's a great sign. And this was this is a very good room to work. There's elected, like Mayor said, elected officials, a lot of important people in government and in private industry. And everybody's like, thanks for the lunch. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Mayor, for the lunch. I saw you here in the program. Yeah, big font right next to the Simon family. Thank you, Mayor. I didn't know it was like that with you. Right. And what are we looking at here? So there's women on stage. That's the class. People are taking pictures of them. That's class 5. Class 5. I think there's like 22, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And they're just from all over the state. Kim's in the background there. Kind of middle back, yeah. Yeah. It's a great class, It's really, when they read their bios, it's impressive. Yeah. They're really, really impressive women that are going to do great things. And I thought one of the interesting things that the MC said, it's like, we talk to our classes and tell them, look, it's not necessarily about, you don't have to be the top elected official to make an impact, and everybody's making an impact in their community and doing what they're doing. And I thought that was a good message, right? So these are all leaders. And I thought the other cool thing about Hoosier Women Forward is the alumna come en masse, and they're all like, and a lot of them are all there. All the class women, like we brought Heather, she was at our table. Yeah. And Heather was there, and she was class 1, I believe, or class 2. I'm not sure, but do you want to point out your Star Wars thing? Yeah, John, look at that. Jill, look at the window in the upper left-hand corner. Zoom in on this. The other one. The other one. Yeah. Who does that look like? I could not unsee this.
Darth Vader,
right? I could not unsee that. And this was on Tom's mind for a significant part of lunch. I'm like, that's a Darth Vader window.
Did they play like the Stormtrooper?
It looks like it, right? Tell me that's not a Darth. That's a Darth Vader cutout. Totally. Right? I'm not even a Star Wars geek. Could you imagine if Darth Vader came through there? Darth Vader could fit perfectly, right? Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. I kept talking about it. I'm like, that's a Darth Vader window.
I was like, okay, yeah,
Right,
we get
yeah,
it.
Why are the
We
windows
get it.
different?
ADD boy.
Why are the
different.
windows different?
Is that just like it's just a prop, right? Like what
Yeah.
show is that from?
What venue
No.
is this?
No,
Where
it's,
are
it's,
we?
It's a metal.
That's the Indiana Ballroom. It's not Disney World.
Yeah, it's Indiana Ballroom. It's
Yeah,
very
it's
pretty.
beautiful.
Is that like where the two guys from the Muppets are sitting?
Yeah, that's where they sit. Exactly.
Oh.
All right. So anyway, I leave Indianapolis after basically working my butt off since I hit the ground, and then I go to Beverly Shores. You may ask, how far is that? It's like 170 miles ish in that ballpark.
That's got to be over 2 hours.
It was, and
Almost
I had
3
time to kill.
probably.
I just meandered. I took a route that you would probably never take unless there was like a major accident on the highway. So I took a route like that because I knew I had time to kill, and I was driving through small towns and cornfields, and I was just meandering. Had the Mustang, so I was just going slow.
Which is a lot of your days these days. You're not just hitting
Fall
the big
is
cities.
the best time to be on back roads in Indiana.
I
Agreed.
honestly agree. And like, I was just, honestly, Jill, I had probably 4 hours, and I had a 2-hour drive ahead of me, and I had 4 hours before I had to be at this event. So I was just like in no hurry at all. I was stopping a lot. I was like checking the stock market. I'd pull over and check the stock market, just stuff like that. I get to Beverly Shores and got to the Katz house, Janice Katz and her husband, Jeff, I
Beautiful
believe.
in Beverly Shores.
Great people, by the way. Super cool house. I've been there once before. I was there for a Christina Hale fundraiser back when she was running for LG. Same house, gorgeous backyard. Their backyard overlooks the water.
Oh, man.
You could see Chicago. It was a cold day. Perfectly see Chicago from where they are. And they were showing me all the erosion problems they're having up there. It's a major problem, major issue. And where the Katz house is, they're fine because they're way up there. But there's neighbors to their north.
Really?
Yeah, scary stuff, man. It's all climate change.
It's an ongoing thing with
and
Lake
beach
Michigan.
erosion. Yeah, it's
Crazy.
very scary. So
Well, good. So
and
congrats.
then I
And
drove
thank you to
from
the
Beverly
Katzes.
Shores to Crown Point, had a fundraiser, took a beautiful picture with
Throw that picture up
with
there.
Eva's daughter. Eva's
Araya.
daughter Araya she was wearing a shirt that said
So cute.
hashtag be my voice, hashtag fire Todd Young.
Look at that face.
Yeah, and Araya is literally 6 months old. She's such a
No,
little cutie.
yeah, she had her 6-month party, I think.
Yeah, she's
recently.
such a little cutie.
Didn't
Be
know
my
they had
voice,
those,
fire
but
Todd
Eva
Young.
had a
That
big
is.
one.
I wish I didn't look like a freak of nature in that picture because when I'm around babies, I'm like glowing.
It's hard not to be around that
I
face.
look creepy in that picture, don't I? Poor Araya.
I'm focusing on Araya.
I know she's so scared. Probably
Crop-
she's
crop
like, who is
him
this
out of
freak?
that.
I know. Crop me out. Look at how
looks
she
so
has her
cute.
hand on my chin.
I know. She's like,
her
There we
hand
go.
is on my
Is
chin.
that better?
Yeah, very cute. Yeah, it's way better. She's
I
such
think
a cutie.
if you're on a infant's shirt in a bad way, like you got to start thinking about
Like, what
your
did I
life
do wrong?
choices.
Yeah,
Like
right.
it literally says "Fire Todd Young" on a baby's shirt.
We have to post that picture, right, Kevin?
oh, yeah.
You have to.
Even though I look like a freak of nature.
I mean, I think you look fine. I mean, you're just
Really?
happy
Jill?
to be around Araya.
That's
Yeah.
how you over smile.
There you
Like,
go.
I would. That's a
force
natural
it.
smile, believe it or not.
Really?
Because I was with the baby.
Really?
Well, maybe not. Yeah,
Walk-
because I
walk
do.
that back.
That could be a political smile, I guess. I don't know.
All
My
I know
natural
is
smile is
you're
no
happy
teeth.
to be with Araya.
My natural smile is like a half smile,
Yeah.
like that.
Cute baby.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Anyway,
My goddaughter. I'm the godfather.
really?
Whoa.
Like unofficially, but
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I'm just
Okay.
calling
No
it
one
right
knows
here.
that but her.
Yeah.
Sorry, Eva. I'm calling it right here on Lockpod.
Damn. All right.
All right. So anyway, Mayor Tom on the road. Strike up the banjos, and we'll go to ads.
Didn't we just?
All right,
we're
never
going.
mind.
We
Let's
want
just
to
roll.
banjo
More
out.
banjos.
Just get out of here.
More banjo.
All right. Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency.
No banjo.
The Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency has been located for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond, serving all your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and more. The Prestimer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses all around the Chicagoland and Midwest market. Call Ron, Ronnie, or Michael at 219-844-0103. The Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give them a call and schedule your consultation today with somebody who is in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW. That's 219-554-4LAW. Or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon. That should have an apostrophe or something in there.
Leons.
Yeah, we're missing some
Steve?
grammar in here. Anyway, they're popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
No, yeehaw.
Try Electronics. Try Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Try Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. We are dedicated to assisting our clients with their system integration needs. Try Electronics has the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Try Electronics today at 1-800-722-6793.
All right.
All right.
Thank you to our sponsors.
What's the matter?
John?
I'm just reading this Slack message from Lindsay.
Oh, yeah?
What GIF or GIF was posted yesterday about a donation?
Oh, yeah. Money.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's
Why?
this
That didn't
comment.
go over well?
No, it went over great.
No,
Okay,
it went
did
over
it?
great.
Money,
but,
please.
Yeah.
someone put like, "Oh, this video is cheesy. You need to find a better way to people to support." And someone commented, "You need to get a sense of humor and shut the hell up." That
Nice.
was just some random person.
When I saw it, though, I mean, because honestly, I tell people this all the time, and I mean it. It's our campaign. I am walled off from the campaign. Decision making. I'm not even on Slack, so I don't see any of this stuff.
Thank
which
God
I think,
you're
Yes, thank God.
thank
you're not on
God, by the
Slack
way,
right now.
because honestly,
would-
all I focus on is Todd freaking Young, and I focus on shaking hands. And
I think that's the point of what the staff wants you to do is just campaign, get out there, shake
you've done
hands,
it effectively.
meet people.
Honest
Awesome.
to God, like I see stuff coming out of the campaign, or people ask me questions. I'm like, dude, I have no idea. I'm the candidate, right? Talk to my campaign. It's great. I think it's honestly one of the most effective things we've done. And I say this, and I'm dead serious. I didn't even know what my logo looked like until it came out. True
Good.
story?
Yes, that is
I didn't
true.
have a clue. I didn't know what color it would be. I didn't know. In fact, were the Ukrainian colors, which I think is great. But I didn't know anything about what the logo would look like. That's how much involvement on the business side I have.
Which is great because there's a lot to do over there, and really, at the end of the day, it's good that you're campaigning, which is
I'm
what we need you to
focused
do.
on
Focus on
what I need.
issues, focus on what you need to know, focus on how to beat Todd Young.
That's right.
Yep.
Hey, man. The other day, we were talking about Jackie Walorski,
Yeah.
and the late Congresswoman from Indiana's 2nd District, who died tragically in an auto accident with her and 2 staffers and a person in
2
the
or
other
3
car.
months ago?
4 fatalities
Yeah.
in one wreck. And it came out after the fact that Jackie Walorski's staffer who was driving the car was doing a pass, which was what
Oh,
we
is
were
that what
talking
they
about.
ended up
Oh, my
having?
God.
Oh, I
They
didn't
were
know
doing
that.
a pass.
I
and they
didn't
were
see that.
at a high rate of speed when they hit the other car, who
Oh, I
was
didn't
also
see that.
doing a high rate of speed because they were in their own lane, and it was a dramatic, like ridiculous,
I did
horrifying
not
crash.
see the official report on that. Okay.
Horrifying crash. And killed 4 people. 3 in the Congresswoman's car, the driver, the Congresswoman, and another staffer, and then the person that was driving the other car died. Horrible tragedy. It was in Napanee, which is where we were just talking about all the
A lot of country
the
roads
Amish
out
buggies.
there.
Yeah. But so President Biden, obviously, at the time of Walorski's death, the president ordered the flags at half-mast across the country. Everybody observed. I assume, I know in the city of Hammond, we had our flags at half-mast for that. In fact, that was the same time I was on a trip to California to visit my stepfather. I was with Patrick, and the flags were at half-mast in California. And Pat asked why. I said, because of the Congresswoman from Indiana. And so, obviously, the president realized at the time that Jackie Walorski passed. Obviously, the president, knew the Congresswoman and knew she was no longer with us. And then the other day, we figured John would be happy by doing this video, Joe. John, do you want to play the video? This is something that happened the other day at a press conference on...
Oh, I didn't know we had a video.
Oh, we don't?
No, we don't have a video.
Oh. So Joe Biden the other day, I'll go ahead and read what he says. He's at...
And
at
no,
an
it doesn't
event-
make me happy.
the White House's first hunger conference since 1969, Biden took a moment during his remarks to credit a list of bipartisan elected officials. All of the officials he listed were behind a bill establishing Wednesday's conference, and the late Indiana Republican Jackie Walorski was a co-sponsor. All right? And this is what Joe Biden says. I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Jim McGovern, Senator Mike Braun, Senator Cory Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I think she wasn't going to be here to help make this a reality, Biden said.
Yeah,
He's clearly asking about Representative Walorski, who was a co-sponsor on the bill before she tragically died in a car accident. Joe Biden knew she died because he ordered the flags at half-mast, and yet here he is a couple months later asking where's Representative Jackie, which leads a lot of people on the right to assume that he's not operating with his full mental acuity.
I don't think it's just on the right either.
I think well, here
many people.
He's 80 years old.
There's an interesting way to look. There's an interesting article about this, and I thought this was it was a polite take on it, right? Obviously,
a polite take.
Well, I think it's a window into Joe Biden in that, and this has nothing to do with the gaffe. I think the gaffe is the gaffe, right? I mean, he obviously
it's horrifying. And you're like defending. I think it's.
I'm
horrifying.
not defending. I just thought it was interesting that I read an article that was like, hey, the one thing about Joe Biden, is that he really does care about trying to be bipartisan, and I think he was like that in the Senate, and I think he's showing that now. Like he's trying to call out Republicans. God. John, I'm not saying that the gaffe was wrong, but it just reminds me of something else that happened this week where like DeSantis is in Florida saying, hey, let's not be petty. And I'm thinking to myself, not be petty? You're the most petty guy out there, and you're ripping Biden all the time. He's telling everybody, let's not be petty. Let's just save Florida.
He just gave credit to Biden. I couldn't believe it. DeSantis.
Well,
for the help with the hurricane.
That's good. He should.
Yeah, because Biden could be telling him to pack sand right now and say, hey, you got this, right?
Like Trump would have done.
Right.
Probably.
And by the way, DeSantis 2 weeks ago is using Florida taxpayer money to send immigrants all over the country. And he could really be using that money right now to help fix his state.
Save Floridians.
It was nice of him to evacuate the migrants.
Yeah,
that is funny,
they're like,
Jill.
thank God we got out of Florida.
That is funny, Jill. I never even thought of that. The migrants
that's
were
a
like,
cartoon.
thanks for sending me to New York.
We love Martha's Vineyard.
Oh my God!
Good God, Jill.
That is a political cartoon
knock against
right?
DeSantis.
That is
He doesn't care about Americans. He shipped the immigrants out of Florida, not Americans.
Wanted to get him out of harm's way. He was way ahead of that hurricane. That is classic, Jill.
Anyway, Kevin,
boom, mic drop, Jill.
I'm leaving. I'm going to go
Jill's
catch
back to
another
get
train.
out. She thinks she's leaving, but she's just getting caught
She
by
was
another
thinking
train.
of that shit on a train,
Yeah.
Anyway, I read Kevin's article, and you're right. He was trying to give credit where credit was due, but both things are true, Kevin.
For sure.
This and the gaffe.
Yeah, agreed.
So
I agree.
And it was cringeworthy, man.
By the way, I take issue with the President of the United States saying Senator Mike Braun's bipartisan. That's a load of shit. Senator Mike Braun is the most unbipartisan elected official I've ever met.
I think it's just Biden calling out people that helped with
bullshit,
the bill.
though. Like
He's terrible.
Like
I
Senator
agree
Braun
with you.
doesn't do anything to support Biden. Biden looks like a sucker to me. It's like you're saying Senator Braun's bipartisan. That's a load of crap.
At
Joe
the end
Biden.
I think he was just saying thanks for helping get the bill passed.
Senator Mike Braun is anything but bipartisan.
I agree with you.
Thank you for helping us get the bill passed, Senator Braun. You non-bipartisan guy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe Biden looked like shit. He did. Like, let's just be honest. That
was a gaffe.
There's no recovering from that.
There isn't, and
that's brutal. Just move on, right? Just say,
move on.
Yeah.
It slipped his mind. And by the way, there's a lot of shit going on in Hammond that I'm signing off on and I'm approving, and some of that slips your mind because there's so many things happening. And I imagine if you're president of the United States and you're 80 and you got a million things happening and a million things you're signing off on,
Tom, Tom, I completely agree with what you just said.
Thank you.
And the fact that the White House press secretary, I don't know if you saw her try and answer the reporter's question.
Top of his mind.
She tried. Yeah. You know what? Just say he fucked up.
Yeah.
That would have been so much better than trying to go, no, let's just try to explain this thing.
Right. It's not like him and Jackie Walorski were good friends. She screwed him every chance she got as a congresswoman. Like, they're not friends. They don't go out to dinner. He doesn't know her like that. It's not like they text each other. He's like, why is Jackie not texting back? They don't text each other, right?
She was a constant critic of the Biden administration. She did one of those gas station like little tricks earlier in the year. She called his agenda radical all the time.
So they're not friends. Let's just establish that, right? It's tragic what happened to the congresswoman.
They knew each other, hung
Joe
out
Biden
together.
knew, and it slipped his mind, obviously. And I'm not making excuses for it. It makes him look horrible as a president. Makes him look like it feeds into everything that the right is saying about him. That he's impaired because he's 80 years old, and when he's 82, how much more impaired is he going to be? That's the worst part of this. Is it feeds right into that narrative about him.
But I think, and to his credit, I know I saw something in the paper recently that said, or maybe it was even today, that said he's meeting with Jackie Walorski's family.
Yeah,
right.
And
that's the right thing.
They're naming a veteran. I think because it was already scheduled.
Right, but still, that is the right thing to do. Obviously, horrifying.
Sure, I'm sure he feels bad.
Oh my goodness, that would be horrifying. I would definitely, if I was the president, reach out to the family and say, "I'm so sorry."
I think that's what they're doing.
Of course, I remember it. It just slipped my mind. I'm so sorry. It was embarrassing, and I'm sorry I drew attention to.
I'm sure he'll do just that.
Right.
That's the kind of guy he is.
A good apology goes a long way, and I think Joe Biden needs to apologize.
I'm sure he will.
I hope he does. I'm sure he will too, because I think honestly,
that's the kind of guy
going back to something you said earlier about him reaching out to DeSantis and being nice, and even calling Mike Braun a bipartisan, which is a load of crap. We already established that, but I think what we're trying to say is, I think Joe Biden's a very decent person. Okay, and I think he's a really nice guy, and I think he tries his best to be magnanimous
and to try to bring the country together. I think he does try to do that. He wants to do that.
Right. Okay. So I give him credit for that, but it did look horrible. It was the worst gaffe.
It wasn't a good situation.
It was the worst gaffe I've seen him make since he's been president.
Speaking of people who tend to make gaffes, I want to go to Marjorie Taylor Greene,
one
of my favorite.
MGT.
We're equal opportunity.
MTG.
We talked about Biden. Now we're going to talk
That's
about
right. Now we're
Taylor
going to
Greene. Yep.
MTG.
Let's get into it.
So
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I heard she's getting divorced.
Yes, she is.
And I don't like talking about people's private lives on the air because I don't think that's fair. And by the way, I don't even talk about Todd Young's private life because I don't need to. He's got so many policy things I could talk about. Why would I talk about his private life?
And Marjorie Taylor Greene has been somebody we've brought on the show before. I'm not brought on, but have shown videos of her before. Like we did the one where she kicked, she was arguing. And
she kicked the lady.
And actually, she was doing a pretty, I think we pointed it out, that she actually stuck to her guns, and it's a bad pun, but stuck to her guns on this Second Amendment issue and was like walking with people. She was getting inundated with questions, and she took it. And
I was actually, as a fellow elected official, I was like, this lady is really like, she really believes the bullshit she's pitching. She does, and she is
sticks to script.
She is on point, and she won't defer from that, and I give her credit for that.
So she also, though, has just been so out there. Like, remember we showed that video of her at her studio where she was pitching conspiracy theories about what happened in the Chicago suburb. Mm-hmm. Like, why didn't they? Boy, they sure didn't talk about anything during. There weren't any mass shootings during Pride Month.
Right
now that it's now, what did he?
Now
that's MAGA month. In July, I was
MAGA
like,
month.
You are
MAGA
psycho.
Month. Right.
That didn't
You
really
are
take
a
off.
psycho. No, it did
MAGA
not. Go
month.
figure, John.
MAGA month.
So and this isn't necessarily about her divorce, but it just happens to be the topic of why we're playing this. Her husband filed for divorce, and
wonder why.
she who knows. And we're not getting into her personal matters.
No.
She asked the media,
she's super pleasant at home,
to respect her. I'm sure she's got Floyd, Georgia on her mind all the time. Floyd County, Georgia on her mind all the time. Now that she's a superstar, she asked for the media to respect her privacy. And
yeah. Wasn't she the one that was stalking shooting victims?
That's what we're going to show, because Marjorie Taylor Greene is so good at respecting people's personal space and privacy. So after the Parkland shooting, she decided it was a good idea to troll and stalk this young man who
high school student
who was at the tragedy, and it became kind of outspoken to try to start doing some gun reform and red flag laws. And this is Marjorie Taylor Greene going after a 18-year-old.
David, why are you supporting the red flag laws? If Scott Peterson, the resource officer at Parkland, had done his job, then Nicholas Cruz wouldn't have killed anybody in your high school, or at least protected them. Why are you supporting red flag gun laws that attack our Second Amendment rights? And why are you using kids as a barrier? Do you not know how to defend your stance? Tell him walking. He's got nothing to say.
Wow.
There you go.
That is so shocking.
Let's give her some privacy.
Awful.
What's that?
Her voice is awful.
I don't think she believes that.
I think she does. I think she's just nuts.
I think she's a grandstander, and she knows that this will get her tons of attention. That's why it's so horrifying. Like you're stalking a person that was in a mass shooting, and you're
and by the way,
him.
like not like somebody who is like 45.
Right.
He's like 19.
He's a kid, and you're stalking him and mocking him, and it's so. And you're a congresswoman.
Yeah,
it's so wrong.
I think.
Oh, please give us our privacy.
That's what I was going to say. I should have been better off by just not even saying that.
Agree.
Just don't even say that. Like, don't even say I want my privacy. She'd have got more of it. Instead, now she's just right.
Agreed.
I mean, now she's just giving herself.
She's a horrible
object of criticism.
She's a horrible human being, which is why her husband wants out of there. I guarantee you, she's a horrible human being.
I am not a fan.
I don't like her at all.
I am not a fan.
My goodness, what a
I
horrible,
love you,
horrible
Marjorie. If you're listening,
do you really, John?
You're still.
I think she's a dick.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
What? I can't like Marjorie.
I'm saying I don't know.
Do you really think she believes that shit?
This stuff is stupid. This kind of stuff is dumb.
You're
just watched.
Like attacking a kid that was in a mass shooting.
For
John.
sure. Well, and even okay.
I mean, like if your kid was in a mass shooting, and then a politician, a congresswoman was mocking a kid that was in a mass shooting, that's so inappropriate.
I'm not a fan of this stuff.
Right.
We talked about this the last time we showed a Marjorie video when someone was going after her. it's all this shock value, grandstanding.
Right.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I don't
move the
like
country
that with
forward.
anybody. That was what I didn't like about Trump was a lot of this kind of stuff. But I agree with Kevin. Like, even if you disagree with this kid, David Hogg, he's kind of become like a troll himself, right?
Yep.
He's a kid. Just leave him
Well,
alone.
he's not anymore.
Well,
He's probably
yeah.
25,
I mean, the point
26
point
now,
is,
right?
is like just you're not getting points by doing that.
No, just let him talk about.
She's not trying to
get
get points. She's trying to get views. She's trying to get followers. That's what it's about. She wants to be a social media star. That's why she posts that inflammatory stuff. I think she's totally full of crap. I think that she knows that that's a weird position to take, but yet she wants to stalk this person so she can get more followers and viewers.
It's crazy. So
It's disgusting.
there we go.
That's why we're Belgium's top-rated podcast.
There's our
ladies and
both
gentlemen.
sides.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Wrap
again.
it up.
Thanks again. Season 7, episode 13.
Yes.
Yeah, man, it was a good show. I think it'll give us a solid C-.
I'll
Yeah,
take
little
that.
below average. Little below average.
I'm going. I thought it was a B.
Okay, we'll take it.
Someone just asked in chat, give us something about MTG you do like, John. You know what I like is that she hired Milo Yiannopoulos as an intern. But we can get into that
After
later.
he got
Fired
I
from
was going to say after he
Breitbart.
got totally kicked to the curb.
Milo. You know what? Forget about it. This
Yes.
is the
Yeah.
right
Next
show for
episode.
it.
Right. Thanks, Vez, for great production. Thanks, Jill, for dropping the best joke I've heard all season.
You feel free to use that.
I'm going to. I'm tweeting that stuff out as soon as I get out. Governor DeSantis is actually very compassionate. He shipped the immigrants out way before the hurricane got there, right? Kevin Smith, great job today. And coming from the locomotive here, season 7, episode 13. From my work husband and me, we want to say thank you for visiting Lockpod, Left of Center Podcast. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, comment, and do all that fun stuff. We will see you on Tuesday. Thanks, everybody. Lockpod's out.